Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by personal finance, you are absolutely not alone. I mean, we're constantly bombarded with financial advice, right? Half of it contradicts the other half, and honestly, it just creates this scattered, frustrating mental chaos. But today, we're throwing out all that clutter. We've synthesized the absolute best, most direct strategies from top financial sources into one actionable visual roadmap for you. We're going to take you from total chaos to complete control, and we're doing it in just 90 days.
Okay, let's dive into this. The absolute truth, and honestly, this should relieve so much of your stress right now, is this. Most people don't struggle with money because they're bad at math. They struggle because they simply don't have a plan. So reassure yourself right now, you do not need an advanced degree to build wealth. The struggle just comes from lacking a clear system. What we're doing today is just shifting the direction of your financial life. Because think about it, a ship that corrects its course by just a few degrees, it ends up in an entirely different and much better destination.
Here's our roadmap. We'll start with step 1, the setup. Then move into month 1, stop the bleeding. Next up is month 2, build the foundation. Then month 3, grow your wealth. And finally, we'll cross the finish line.
All right, let's jump straight into phase 1, the setup.
Now, this is a critical mindset shift that literally has to happen before week 1 even begins. You must remove emotion and shame from your money entirely. Just ditch it. Breaking this massive topic into structured phases is exactly what eliminates that mental chaos we just talked about. Basically, you need to treat your finances exactly like a successful business. Think about it. If you walk into a good restaurant or a popular retail store, they know exactly what's coming in as revenue and what's going out as expenses, right? Well, you have to do the same. You need to run a personal audit to calculate your net worth and your net profit. And look, this isn't some exercise in making yourself feel bad. It's really just gathering data so we know our exact starting point.
Moving on to phase 2, month 1, stop the bleeding.
So the goal here is brutal honesty about your last 14 days to 3 full months of actual spending. Now, what's really interesting about this is how we approach it. We use the 50-30-20-0 based budget framework, and we use it because it forces every single dollar to have a specific job. You literally subtract your expenses from your income until you hit 0, leaving no money unaccounted for. You allocate 50% to absolute needs, things like rent, utilities, and groceries. Then 30% goes to wants. That's your dining out, your fun money, and the final 20% goes strictly toward financial goals. If you track your last few months of spending and sort it right into these buckets, you'll immediately see exactly where your money is leaking out.
And plugging those leaks, it is incredibly powerful. $4,800. That's the math of simply cutting the fat. To put that into perspective, if you go through your spending and reduce just $400 a month in convenience costs, maybe it's those lazy Uber rides, unused subscriptions you completely forgot about, or ordering takeout when you have perfectly good food sitting in the fridge, that equals $4,800 a year. That is a massive amount of cash freed up just by trimming the absolute lowest hanging fruit. And you don't even have to make your life miserable to do it.
That brings us to phase 3, month 2, build the foundation.
So with the bleeding officially stopped, we now focus on creating a literal and psychological safety net, a $1,000 starter emergency fund. Before you aggressively pay off debt or even think about investing, you absolutely must hit this 4-digit goal. Getting your bank account to finally cross into 4 digits is a huge psychological win. It acts as a kind of circuit breaker, so a blown tire or a surprise medical bill doesn't send you spiraling deeper into debt. Oh, and remember, keep this cash in a high-yield savings account. It'll earn you 4 to 5% interest, which is way better than just letting it rot in a traditional checking account, earning absolutely nothing.
Now, once that starter fund is locked in, we attack debt using one of 2 proven methods. First, there's the avalanche method, which targets the highest interest rate first. This one is mathematically optimal. I mean, for context, a 25% interest rate on a $5,000 credit card balance, that costs you $1,250 a year just in interest alone. The avalanche method stops that fast. Alternatively, there's the snowball method. This one attacks the smallest balance first to give you really quick psychological momentum. Honestly, just pick the one that fits how your brain works. But whatever you do, attack high-interest debt with absolutely everything you've got.
And while you're fighting that debt, here is a micro-actionable tip you can literally do today. Pick up your phone, call the number on the back of your credit card, and just politely ask them to lower your annual percentage rate. I know it sounds way too simple, but it is highly effective. Just mention you're a loyal customer and you're looking at competitor rates. With almost 0 time commitment, this simple 5-minute conversation can literally save you hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars in interest. The absolute worst they can say is no.
All right, phase 4, month 3, grow your wealth.
Now we're pivoting from playing financial defense to playing financial offense. So the crucial point here is that relying on motivation to save money, that's a losing game. Motivation is flaky, but automation is loyal. It just requires this really simple three-step system. First, when your paycheck lands, you must have automatic transfers set up. These instantly move a percentage to your savings and investment accounts before you can even touch it. You only spend what's left over. Doing this completely removes the psychological friction that causes bad financial choices. It's out of sight, out of mind.
But playing financial offense also means looking at your income. Look, cutting your expenses definitely has a floor. You can only skip so many coffees, right? But your income has absolutely no ceiling, so you need to focus on the most effective ways to boost your revenue. Go ahead and ask your boss for a raise if it's been over a year. Inflation is eating your paycheck anyway. Or, you can start a side hustle, learn a high-income skill like coding or sales, or even consider job hopping, which historically provides massive salary bumps. The point is, focus aggressively on growth.
And as that income grows, you must put it to work through passive investing. And this brilliantly illustrates just how simple it is. You really don't need to pick individual stocks and stress about it all night. Step 1, just open a brokerage account with platforms like Vanguard or Fidelity. Step 2, set up those automatic transfers we just talked about. And Step 3, continuously buy an S&P 500 ETF. Doing this gives you instant diversification across hundreds of major U.S. companies, and it allows you to easily capture the stock market's historical 8 to 10% average returns.
Now, if you think passive investing sounds a bit boring, just consider the math for a second. If you invest $1,000 a month for 30 years at an 8% return, you will end up with $1.49 million. That is the undisputed magic of consistency and compounding interest over decades. It's not about trying to win the lottery. It's a direct, reliable mathematical certainty when you just stay disciplined over the long haul.
And finally, Phase 5, the finish line.
So we've made it to the final phase, which covers weeks 11, 12, and beyond. To keep your momentum going long after your 90-day reset, you need to implement 3 core habits. First, track your net worth monthly by subtracting your liabilities from your assets. Second, schedule quarterly check-ins with yourself just to ensure you aren't drifting back into bad habits. And crucially, write down your goals. Actually, there was a fascinating psychology study that showed people who write down their goals, make a plan, and share them with a friend increase their likelihood of success by 42%. You literally make your financial journey real just by putting it on paper.
So I want to leave you with one final provocative question. What is your 10-year goal? And what is your true why for starting this reset? Are you chasing early retirement? Do you want to finally buy a house or simply escape the suffocating weight of debt? Anchor your new daily habits to a massive stretch goal. Look, 90 days is definitely not enough time to get rich, but it is more than enough time to completely alter the trajectory of your entire life. So what are you waiting for? Your 90 days starts right now.